2025 is ending on a sour note, but could 2026 be starting on a nightmare? Are we about to see the end of Enzo Maresca at Chelsea Football Club? Tonight, my friends, I'm here to go through all the reports to give you guys the full context and story on everything going down surrounding this crazy story. Because at the end, we're going to have some serious conversations about the state of our football club. Quick context, there's fireworks going off like crazy behind me. So if I'm not talking the same, or if I'm losing that train of thought, just know that I'm really focusing to multi-manage everything at once right now. I was not expecting to be making this video right now. So shout out the Bay for allowing me to get my ass upstairs and working tonight. I hope you guys enjoy the video because right now we got some big things to talk about. My friends, as we are learning, Enzo Maresca is under pressure with Chelsea's board. Naturally, when you've only won 1 out of 7 Premier League games, for any serious manager at this football club with the ambitions we have, you're going to be under the spotlight if you're not delivering on the field right. Ideally, the board would prefer to wait until the end of the season to review him because that's the customary protocol at this football club. However, if results continue to flounder, continue to get worse, and we're coming up to January where we have Man City next, we have games against Arsenal, we have Napoli's Champions League games, we have important games that could define how the second half of the season is going to shape. If Maresca continues to fail in that capacity, we might not be seeing him come the end of this season. Crazy, crazy times. And let's be serious, you guys. Most times when you kind of get like inklings of these reports coming out, we've seen it with Graham Potter, we've seen it with Mauricio Pochettino. You know that the manager's shelf life and expiry date is fast approaching, but we have some twists in this story because we are also learning tonight that actually, in fact, could this whole ploy, all these stories be the directors and Chelsea's hierarchy looking to control the media narrative right now and stay on top of things? Because the big twist today is that Maresca himself is prepared to quit Chelsea after a massive falling out with the Blues board. Maresca feels constrained. Maresca doesn't feel like he is getting supported. Maresca feels like it's very hard to do his work here and he is getting undermined. And I guess it makes a bit of sense for him. You've just been signed up to Jorge Mendes' sporting agency. You've won silverware now. Man City have already used the media to kind of make you aware that you could be seen as the successor to a Pep Guardiola if you play your cards right. Why not stay in control of your own fate and destiny? Why allow yourself the disservice of being sacked by this board when you can control your own story, your own narrative, and leave with your heads, in his opinion, held high, putting you in a better place leverage-wise? For Jorge Mendes, he's one of his most important clients for this summer window, right? It seems like, especially with how these guys operate at the top, it wouldn't surprise me if they're kind of putting pieces on the board together strategically to ensure Maresca, gets the best possible outcome, because it feels like with all the stuff in the media, with all the stuff that's been coming out in reports, Maresca has quietly been shaping up to control his destiny throughout this season. So it's crazy. But to continue on, we have to discuss some context that finally came out after last night's weird report that Maresca was too ill to take part in post-match duties, even though he was there on the touchline the entire game. We all knew that was cap. We all knew that was an excuse. And today, we're learning the full context courtesy of Ben Jacobs, as he reveals right here, Maresca, of course, was not sick, but he understands that he chose not to attend the post-match press conference because he is in the middle of making a decision as he considers his options at the club. Understand Maresca continues to be frustrated by aspects of the project affecting his independence. Decisions and strategic elements don't always align with how he wants to manage the team. Yeah, this comes courtesy of his 48 hours comments, him having his worst time at the football club. It was clearly directed at the board. It was the first proper signs and evidence that was communicated and broadcasted publicly that there was definitely a chasm at the moment between Maresca and the Chelsea directors. It's crazy, man. It really is crazy. But we know we have some few more context and stories now to explain what's going on surrounding Maresca's mindset and maybe other stories around what's pushing Maresca to make this move. Now, we're going to go to the BBC. As the BBC reveals right here, Maresca had sought to raise his profile following recent success. He had planned to publish a book, which was blocked by the club. Now, it's quite typical for managers to write autobiographies, write books. I mean, Pochettino, Ancelotti, Mourinho, you can go on, and they're not just writing stuff when they retire. And why should they? It's part of the game. With Maresca, on top of feeling like maybe football-wise he's not being supported, he might feel like for his own personal brand and career, the club aren't really backing him there. Let's see. Because he clearly shows some dissent, as it was revealed that he went without Chelsea's permission to an event that was organized by La Gazzetta dello Sport. And he spoke at the Il Festival dello Sport, which is like a annual type of annual type of media thing where managers get interviewed and talk to the media and all that stuff, you know what I mean? So yeah, if Maresca is now going against the club's wishes and not even confirming what he's doing, I mean, it does show clear dissent, and it does show that maybe he's not rating what the board are about or what the boards are doing right now. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It really is crazy, because it does feel like there's a possibility now that we could be seeing the end of Maresca unless something changes. And I feel like the only way it can really change, it's not just from the board alone, but it's also Maresca. Can both parties potentially find a middle ground